record directly on Zoom. So let's proceed. This is a given data. You have the questions here, section A and section B, and then you have your transactions data here. So now, in a real life scenario, these questions will not be given, or sorry, the questions will be given to you by the client. We want to be able to know the total sales of all our products. We want to be able to know the profit by product, profit by product category, total quantity sold, top selling products, least selling products, average unit price spent by customer, total transactions per product category, total revenue per product type, monthly sales, store-wise revenue, product details, count, average quantity sold per transactions, and then unique product sold. Then B, suggest the product type to discontinue and state your reasons. If the company wants to invest additional funds into the business, suggest the best location to invest the money for higher returns. Which of the products should the company stock in large quantity? Just imagine them giving you all of this, and the only thing you have to figure all of this out is the data given to you. Or even paint a picture with the fact that the data is not even given to you, and you have to find a way to extract your data to provide all of this. What and what will you include in your data collection? So in that case, here is what we have. So this is a typical data that has already been provided for us to answer the given question. The first thing you do when you have your data, like as I told you initially, is to carry out a data study. In this case, we have the given data here. Now, I just want you to realize that nothing on this data sheet is here for fancy. Everything has the reasons why they are there. We have the transaction ID, the transaction date. Now, I can come in and buy donut in the morning, and in the afternoon, I come in again to buy cake, shortbread, or cookies. And then in the night, I come in again to buy shawarma. Now, I'm the same person, but I've carried out 3 transactions, and each of those transactions will be recorded differently. Transaction in the morning, transaction in the afternoon, transaction in the night. But it's the same person. Now, in a case like this, most times there's what we call data integrity and data privacy. When you are working with a given data set, you must put into consideration data integrity and data privacy. Data privacy in the sense that the customer's identity are shielded. Because the sheet carry Adamu Isa as a customer, you don't have to put Adamu Isa's name on your data because you will be revealing some key information about Adamu Isa. So Adamu Isa is at risk. So you must always maintain data privacy. If you must include a customer identity in your data set, then you need to use customer ID. That's where the word identity comes to play. So in the case of this given data, we have the transaction ID that keeps tracks of each transaction, the date that the transaction was carried out, was captured, the time that the transactions were carried out, the quantity that was purchased as at that given transaction, the store ID. Each store was tagged with a number. So store number 5, store number 8, store number 9, store number 3, so and so on. Then we also have store location, product ID, unit price. Now, product ID, because they have certain number of products, they can actually bring out all the names of the product. And anytime a customer comes to buy, you will have to type in the name of the product. But when you put an ID, a number to each product, when you call that number, you can actually pull out the product that have that particular number. Then we have the unit price. How much does it cost to buy one of that item? Then we have the coffee or the product categories. So the product have already been grouped in different categories. And we have product type. What type of product? Product details, cost per item, and then the date. The date can be the day of the week, or the month of the year, or the week of the month. So please, I would advise everyone to mute their devices. We are going to do that from here. I hope I don't mute myself. All right. So I'm sure everyone can still get to hear me. Okay, now there's something again, and I want to ask that as a question, and I just need two answers from the class. This sheet, this particular sheet, is this sheet designed for a particular store location or multiple store locations? You are going to give me the answer and tell me your reasons why. So, anybody? Anybody want to try? Here is the sheet. And I'm asking, is this sheet designed for one store location or multiple store location of this assignment? So this is a centralized data sheet because we have different stores. And that's also telling you something. If the stores are in 3 different locations, how were they able to take note of their daily sales concurrently? That's also pointing to another fact again, that this particular database is an online database. So because it is online database, they can enter in their data and record the time of transactions as of when the transactions were taking place in different stores. So this is a centralized database management system that they have here. Okay, so here we have the data: total sales, total quantity sold, top selling product, least selling product, and the likes. So I have here my full data here. Now, I didn't copy and paste this data here. I used a particular code. I'm going to be teaching us about the code. All right. So I'm sure we can proceed. Okay, so I'm sure we can proceed. Okay, like as I was saying, I pulled in my data using the query command. You can see the code here. So instead of tampering with my original data, which is this, I used this particular command to pull it into my analysis sheet so I can run my analysis with it. So pulling it, I have all of this here. So now my analysis began from here. So I was able to break down the total sales by month. Everywhere you see 1 here, that's to tell you that that's the first month, which is January. And if you see 2, that's February. 3 is March. 4 is April. Let me see if I have more than January. Okay, if you check my data, now the total data size or data set for this data is 150,000 rows. It's actually a very large data set, 150,000 rows, but because I know some of you are working with your phones and you cannot your phones won't be able to process such large data. I have crunched the data and deleted more than 145,000 and left only 5,000 rows. So you can see the last data here is 5,000, and they are all January data because you can see the month is 1. So for us to see the title of each of these columns, I can freeze my top column, which I just drag this down here. So now I can always, if I scroll down, I can still see my top row. So now let's move to the first question we have here. First thing first, I know I'm going to be looking for product categories. I'm going to be looking for product by quantities, monthly sales, store-wise revenue, and every other index. So first, I need to pull out all the product categories that they have in the whole transaction. So you need to get unique values of product. If you want to work on a database and you have different categories, now if you check your data, look at your data, transactions are going on one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. 10 customers can visit the shop and they all want shawarma. Another 5 customers can visit the shop and they all want pizza. Shawarma is a category of bread, is in a category of bread or sandwich. Pizza is in a category of pastries. So each of those categories, you need to pull them out to be able to run an analysis on them. So there is a code you can use in doing that, and that's the unique. It's called unique. So you can see the code here. So if I say unique and then the product category, which is K, you check here, you see unique K2 down to K. That means I am asking it to give me all the unique values in K. You can see K is your product category. So when I say unique K, that means I'm saying, because there are repeated transactions here, but I want only the unique categories so that I can find the transactions that have been made based on that category. So unique gives you all the distinct categories in these particular transactions. And then next is you need to get the total sales by category. Has to do with sum if. So you will sum. If it is coffee, you add up. If it's tea, you add up. If it's drinking chocolate, you add up. And that's how we arrive. So these are the sales by category. Total sales by categories. Then total transactions by product categories. Now, these are two different things. How many transactions makes up this 9,467 naira? How many transactions? That means you have to count. In this place, we summed. But for the total transactions by category, you need to count it. So in counting, you have to count all the transactions that took place in column K, which is this column. All the transactions, so you have to count it. You have to count if the transactions are coffee, count if the transactions are tea, drinking chocolate. So that's how we're able to arrive at all of this. So next, we decided to take a look at the total sales by month. The data have been reduced to only 1 month, so it's a very simple exercise to do. I already have all the sales here on this column U. So all I simply need to do is to add up the total sales that was done in January. So I said sum if the month is January. So it gives me the value of what was sold in January. It's as simple as that. And then next, we have the product type. That means we want to check how each of these products performed. The government brewed coffee sold about 2,317. The brewed child tea sold about 2,577. In terms of sales value. So how did we arrive here? It's as simple as using the unique to get the unique field for each of the products. This will also give you the total number of products that is available in the store or that they have. And then you can now use the sum if to find the value sold from each of these products. And then before we get to the last one, store-wise revenue. You know, I told you it's a centralized store. So there are 3 stores. 1, 2, 3. Lower Manhattan, Hell's Kitchen, and Astoria. And these are the revenue that came in from each of the stores. You can even decide to plot it to see it in visuals. All you simply need to do is select the data and just go down to insert your charts. Now you can see it actually pop up a pie chart showing you the distribution. But if you check, unless you look at the percentage, 33.4, this is 32, and then this is 34.3, the margin is very, very slim. So a pie chart may not necessarily give you the actual picture of the data, the visuals of the data at a glance. So what you can do is to change the chart type. So if you see, you click on this 3 dot, you see edit chart, and then you can come here and give us a bar chart or column chart. So you can now see from here, Hell's Kitchen is actually making the most revenue. Next, followed by Astoria, then Lower Manhattan Kitchen. So let's delete this and let's continue with our analysis. So in this table here, we have solved like 4 questions. The unique product sold, all you simply need to do is count from here. These are all the products. All these are the products. These ones. So you just have to count the total products that are here to give you the unique total products, unique products sold. And we have 29. So it's count this. Total sales made. We already know that is this. So all you simply do is sum up all the sales that was made from the transactions. And it must match this to check if it is correct. Then the total quantities sold is to count all of these, because we say transaction, total transaction by product category. Okay, this is by category. So instead, you will count the quantity column, because this is F. This is F. So you're going to sum everything on F. So these are the quantities sold. So summing all of this will give you the total quantities sold and average price, average unit price. That is how much, what's the average a customer spends. Average unit price is to take the average of, now not average of total sales, but it's going to be average of cost per item, which is this. So if you check, that should be average J. that's this. So we have the unit price per product. So this, you take the average of this column to get your average unit price. And finally, we have this. Now, this particular last store category, top category sold store wise. In each of these three different stores, different products sell higher. While coffee sells, let's look at coffee being sold at Lower Manhattan, Hell's Kitchen, and Astoria. So if you look at, you discover that coffee is actually giving the highest sales in the three locations. At Lower Manhattan, coffee is giving you the highest sales. Hell's Kitchen, same thing. Astoria, same thing. But let's look at how we came about this table, because this is the most complex question in that analysis. And here's the reason why. So check this out. First thing first, we want to find top categories sold in each store. So that means each of the stores have to be represented, and then you have to draw up a comparison of each of the three stores together. So first thing first, you need to come up with the unique product, the unique category, using the unique function. You can see it here, to pull out all the unique fields, because we are looking at the top categories sold across each store. And then at the top here, you have your different stores. So we want to know what was sold in Lower Manhattan, Hell's Kitchen, and Astoria in these various categories. So when you come up with your unique categories, the next thing you do is to sum if S. Sum if S. Now, if you use only the sum if, you won't get your answer, because sum if only gives you opportunity to use one condition. But sum if S gives you opportunity to use multiple conditions in your statement. So check this. We said sum if U to U. Where is U to U? We have U, which is this. So we say sum if the total sales here matches either K to K. Where is K? Let's take a look at K. Now, here is the total, all the product category column is here. And we say sum if, because you first have your sum range, you have your first criteria, second criteria, and all the other criteria as the case may be. Now, where this is more dicey is because it is going to check all of the criteria and give you the sum if any of the criteria are met. So in this case, we are summing the range. What are we summing? We are summing the total sales, which is this in U. We want to know how much was sold if K to K has AB 28. Let's go down to AB, column AB. So this is column AB 28. So if the condition matches what is here, which is coffee, it should sum the values of sales made from coffee. In this given store location, H, so you can see the H here. So it has two conditions. First condition is if the transaction was done in H, don't forget we already have H here. H must match the name of the store. In this case, our store is located in Lower Manhattan, which is AC 27. Let me shift this. You can see the name where the store is. That's Lower Manhattan. That's AC 27. So this will give you can see AC 27. So if the transaction matches Lower Manhattan and AB 28, which is the category, if this category is sold from this store, add up the transactions and give us the total. So in that case, here's what we have. For Lower Manhattan, we have the values. So if you check, you discover I used the dollar sign to lock each of these transactions so that you don't get your analysis jumping from one cell to another. It's going to give you an error. So in this case, the same thing, we have Hell's Kitchen. So everything here is going to match what is in AD27, and everything here is going to match what is in AE27. And that's why you see it here. So all the sales put together, we have their total here, here, and here. And it's going to match the store-wise revenue that we found initially, which is this value, and this value. So if it doesn't match it, then there is an error in your formula or your analysis, and you need to go back and check for it. So that's all of the given analysis. Now section B. Section B, now this is where business intelligence comes in. This is where business intelligence comes in, because section B is asking you suggest the product type to discontinue and state your reasons. First thing first, let's go back to our analysis and look at which product should the company discontinue. First, let's look at each of the products and which one is doing well. So you can see sales by product type. You can see we have 28 naira clothing, 36 naira house blend beans, black tea. So when you look at all of the products, you can now say, okay, what profits are we making from each of the products? Because this is just sales by product. Are we making profit? Do we have a profit column for each of the product? So we have a column for profit, which is column R. But because there are no questions asking for profit, so it is not imputed here. But there are different criteria with which you can use to choose what product to discontinue or what product to continue with. So in this case, we summed this if it matches the product type. So now we are going to sum the profit column if it matches each of these product type. So let's first give this column profit by product. Profit by product, and then let's carry out the equals to sum if. Now you can see my system is actually processing, and that's why it's taking time. You can see it's loading here, and until it's finished loading, you have to wait for it. So sum if go by the range. All right, so it's done. So sum if you pick your range. What is the range we are looking for? We are looking for the product type. So you go down to here, product type. This is the range. So sum if range, we have picked the range, which is L, which is the product type. What criteria are we using to check? We are using it to check the product type here, and if it finds that, what is it going to add up? Now it's not adding total sales, it's going to add up profit, which is this. And close your bracket and press enter. So now the profit made from this product is 117 naira. Let us see if we decide to run down. This is 136, but let's check if it's giving us exactly what we want. All right, so we are actually good to go here. So you can do for the rest. So when you come down here, now you can see when it comes to sales, in terms of sales revenue. Okay, let's plot it. Let's plot let's visualize this. So you select all the data, come down to insert chart. Okay, now you can see this gives us a visual representation of each of the products. Let's expand it to see what we have here. On your data sheet, you realize that, see the profit, that's what's orange color, and then the sales revenue is blue. So when you look at this graph, clothing is not even making any profit or very minimal profit. And likewise, see all of this. But the fact that it's not making profit doesn't necessarily mean you have to just discard it. You can also check the quantity of transaction to decide. So my question for you tonight, which is what you are going to go and figure out when you are doing your correction, because this particular assignment I have given, you are going to repeat the same assignment, but you are going to do it in Excel. So tomorrow or in our next class, I'm going to walk you through data analytics in Excel. It's just a refresher course. It's the same thing with Google Sheet or slightly different. But I want the situation that once you can do it in Google Sheet, you should be able to do it in Excel. So your first assignment I'm giving you tonight is this assignment 6. You are going to repeat it using Excel. Yes, you're going to repeat it using Excel. So consider this as assignment 7, the one for Excel as assignment 7. And I've asked a new question. In this analysis I just did, I can decide to discard clothing, because if you look at the profit margin of clothing, it's just about 1.68. But that's not the lowest. See this one. Look at this product. This is 1.1. That's green tea. I'll tell you that green tea is actually not selling much. Imagine another one, sugar-free syrup. The profit from this product is 1.0. So I want you to judge this analysis using quantity. So pull out the quantity sold by each of these products. What is the quantity? Let's look at quantity. Are people buying more of the product despite the low quantity? So I want us to judge with quantity. So what I'm expecting from you in this analysis now is just the way I did profit by product. I want to see quantity, product, sales by quantity, yes, transactions by quantity. At the end of this, you can actually shift or create a blank column, insert a column to the right. So you can put that here, transactions by quantity. So you're going to calculate this in your next assignment. All right, so that will be all for this night. Any question before we call it a wrap? Any question? Okay. So I want to believe we have all